repeat the question.
I said in times like this, right? In terms of tariffs, Amazon being in e-commerce, we know that tariffs are going to affect the actual importer, right? So the person that's bringing it in, they're acting as a third-party consumer at this point because they're shipping it to you. They've always been on lower price. And so the small business that has to pay that won't be able to do that. That will bring more business to Amazon. Would we? I mean, it might be advantageous. Obviously, I hold large shares in Amazon, but even in this environment, this seems like an attractive place to put some money in. No?
Rashad, you want to go first? Because I got an interesting take that I want to bring up about Amazon.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm not.
That's what we're here for.
Amazon's not on my top.
Really?
Amazon has been as. Go ahead, Rashad. My apologies.
But not your top what?
Okay. And
let's wake it up.
This you got to go with the starting five.
Yeah.
Like you down by 20 points, you go with the starting five to get back into the game.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon for me is not in my starting five.
Who's your five?
Nvidia,
Pow.
Microsoft,
Pow.
TSM.
You cooking? Ooh.
And
that's the big three right there. Ooh, boy, what?
Big three. It's just big me. I'm going with QQQ.
No, it's just stocks, not ETFs.
That's the rebound, but you need a rebounder. You got to get 30 plays.
No, just stocks, because Amazon's just. I could say
TSM,
but those are mine. Those are my picks. You know that.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Boy, hold on. What? Damn. See, you can throw in anybody at this point.
The fact that you have to wait to think of
Meta.
You're taking.
I'll take Meta.
You take Meta right now.
That's for sure.
I'll take Meta over Amazon.
Who has the biggest monopoly outside of Apple and Nvidia? I'll put those two. I'll wait.
Labusi.
You meant Amazon, right?
Yeah.
You meant Amazon, right? In terms of sector dominance, and when they come into a space, they take over multiple sectors.
Which leads me to my point.
I'm just saying, who else outside of Apple,
Microsoft,
Nvidia? Do they have a monopoly?
What?
On what? What's the monopoly on?
What they have? What? The open AI. That shit that's running the race.
Google has a monopoly.
On what?
Search.
You just ChatGPT.
No, but they're not. That's not comparable to Google.
It's a decaying monopoly for sure.
500 million people using ChatGPT daily.
The two biggest search engines are Google and YouTube.
Yeah,
and Google owns YouTube.
But that's declining. We already know that. So it's not really a monopoly if you're
Google
already declining.
But YouTube, that's a hell of a hedge.
No,
that's like digital Bitcoin, yo.
But somebody's knocking on that door, right?
For sure. If ChatGPT come out with like a video,
that door's getting kicked in.
Interesting stat. 2016 percentage of top sellers in China in Amazon, 24%. 2017, 22%. 2019, 33 to 38%. In 2020, percentage of sellers based in China, 42%. Right now, it's estimated that 49% of sellers on Amazon's platform are in China.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't scary.
That's dangerous.
That percentage.
That's dangerous.
Of sellers, and also we're not even going to break down who's making.
That's not surprising when you just made the point. Like everything that we buy is made where?
In China.
For sure, but
like if China,
it's an American company.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
If they decide to be like, no, you're done. We're going to do our own. Like at least Meta's not dependent on China. That's actually kind of helpful.
Yes.
I don't know if
Amazon has already been.
Well, I'm not sure if it's just depending on China because you're just talking about the e-commerce business. AWS is something totally different.
That's but the e-commerce is a major part.
It's a major part, but AWS is just as major.
And for what we just saw walking around,
but they're in there, but that's what I'm saying. And they're in there too. And if you looked at Nvidia's partners, that name was there. Mm-hmm. We saw that. You know whose name wasn't there? You see what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure.
So it sounds good. Like those companies sound good. I'm not knocking your five. Your five is your five, but.
Yeah,
to throw them out like nah, bro.
Those five are fire though. I'm
not knocking it. I'm just saying
hell of a lineup.
One of them. We're not going to treat them like they not
for
one
sure.
One.
But their issue is profit margins. But why is the profit margin that low? Because
capital expenditure. They're always
For
growing.
sure.
They're always building, which is part of business. We can't.
For sure.
They one of them ones, man. I'm standing on that. Who with me?
But I'll be clear. Amazon ain't fucking with Nvidia on no day.
I didn't say that.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
say that. I'm just saying outside of Apple and Nvidia, the monopoly space, when they come into a space, they come to dominate. They come to take over. We've seen it, right?
If they
And
would Jack Ma down, would they still had a
they
lead?
they still have space to grow because healthcare is something that they haven't just come in and dominated yet. When you add their AI services to healthcare,